body, my pad, my ride, my family, my church, my boys, my girls, and my porn.
So hey guys, you just heard a part of the trailer for the film Don John, and the reason why I showed you that portion of the trailer, at least audio-wise, is because in this film Don John, which is the directorial debut and writing debut of Joseph Gordon-Levitt, um, this character John, or John Martello, I think his name, John Martello Jr., I think his name is. Um, he has this very routine lifestyle, and kind of the standout part of his routine, and it kind of is almost unhealthy to someone else's eyes, is the fact that he has a porn addiction. So throughout Don John, you guys, this character named John is living this routine life. He's always working out. He's always cleaning his place up. He lives in like an apartment somewhere. He always cares about this ride that he's always taking care of, his car. He's always hanging out with guys at these nightclubs and bars. He's having all these one night stands with all these gorgeous women that he can always get, a date or a round of sex with. And so basically, he's living this routine life, and it's been going on for a long time now. And it kind of comes to a halt, or at least it kind of challenges that routine in a way when Joseph Gordon-Levitt's character John meets a woman named Barbara Sugarman, and she's played by Scarlett Johansson. So he pursues this relationship with this woman. She's big into romance movies. She's very much a family person. She likes to, go shopping and have John at her side. And for a while, John thinks that he's about to pursue what basically is his first real relationship with a woman, since all the other relationships he's had really weren't even relationships. They were just one night stands with all these gorgeous women. So, John's family's happy. Barbara's family's happy from what you get to see from the movie. They both kind of think they're really pursuing this relationship, that it's kind of this big deal, that, they might be this couple at some point, this really, possibly a married couple. And so it goes on for a while. John kind of grins and bears these romance movies that he's really not too sold with. He thinks it's all fake, it's overly cheesy, it's kind of, all pretend. So he doesn't like that part of these movies. He tags along for shopping and stuff, but, he really doesn't want to be there. He's just doing it just because Barbara wants him there. But it really comes to a halt, and the relationship gets challenged when Barbara finds out that John has this porn addiction. And so, John's like, oh, I'll just, I'll stop, we don't have to worry about it anymore. So at first, Barbara thinks, maybe it was just, the small thing that she just so happened to walk in on him on. So it goes on for a while. The relationship's back on track, but Barbara once again catches John watching porn through events of the film that I don't want to spoil. So basically, this relationship is in a hiatus. Barbara doesn't think she wants to be in a relationship with John. John wants to be in a relationship with Barbara still, but he's not very happy with the fact that she's willing to accept this porn addiction he has. So John tries to move on, and he's taking this night class because, from what you gather, it sounds like John works a bartending job somewhere, but he needs to go to college and get a degree in order to work his way up in this job he works at. And it's never quite specific where he works, but it's hinted by Tony Danza's character, who plays his dad, that he works at a bar somewhere and that he's some type of big name bartender. So that's at least the hint that you get toward what kind of job this character has. But I'll get to that in a second when I get to the negatives. So John works, he's going to this night class to try to, get this degree for potentially moving up in his job. And he meets a woman played by Julianne Moore. Her name is Ether, I think. And, at first it's just some type of nice woman that John sits next to in class. She kind of brings her personal life to class a lot. She seems to be, willing to listen to John whenever John needs someone to listen to him. And so for a while, it's kind of this, mentor-student kind of relationship that they have. And after a while, it kind of turns into something else that I don't want to spoil because it might ruin, whoever wants to see the film. But what I can tell you is Julianne Moore is kind of the mentor character for John. She helps him realize what real love is. She kind of points out the things that possibly went wrong with John and Barbara's relationship, and she helps John get onto the right track in his life. Let him think about realistic things in life. That porn's kind of this fantasy that we think is real, but it's really just, this fictional filmed fantasy that we have that we think that's what love might be, but it isn't. So Esser, played by Julianne Moore once again, helps John get on the right track again and really helps him set right expectations for love, since he didn't quite have that right expectation before meeting Esser. So, Don John, you guys, I was very impressed with this movie. I know this is the writing and directorial debut of Joseph Gordon-Levitt, and if this is what he can provide to us as a writer and director, I would love to see more of his work, because this is a very impressive film. So, like I was saying before, I love the writing and directing of this film. If Joseph Gordon-Levitt takes on more films like this, I'm going to be a very happy man. And not only does Joseph Gordon-Levitt provide good acting performances in his movies, it's interesting to see that he can offer very good writing and director performance as well. I like the character of Don John. I think he reminds me of Johnny Bravo from Cartoon Network, kind of mixed with something you'd see from Requiem for a Dream, in a way where this character's addicted. They claim they can get off the addiction, but they have a hard time getting off of it. So for me, I like that the film kind of combines those two ideas and really makes something original and new based off those two things. The film's musical score was very good in this. You can definitely tell Joseph Gordon-Levitt is very passionate about music, because the songs are good in here. The music's very fitting. I really enjoyed just the music that went into this film. So if Joseph Gordon-Levitt directs more movies, music will definitely be at his side, because you can definitely tell he has a good sense of music in movies. I thought the film had a very effective sense of humor. The scenes that were intended to be sexy are sexy, so that's always a good thing. Um, the film has a lot to say about romantic relationships. I do think, kind of like what Don John was trying to say in the movie, that men and women do sometimes set unrealistic expectations for romance and for love. That sometimes men and women base things off of what they see in movies and what they see in marketing, what they see in the media, and that impacts the way that they look at relationships. So by the time they are in one, they almost set things too high for themselves. Like everybody has to be this top notch Casanova type person in order for the love to work, but that's not the case all the time. Um, Tony Danza and Scarlett Johansson give really good performances in this. Tony Danza is funny throughout the whole movie, which I really appreciated. Scarlett Johansson had a very believable accent, and I liked how she definitely, you kind of agree with her in some scenes and you disagree with her, and I like how there's kind of this up and down side to this character, because I really think it represents what a lot of women in her social status kind of represent, where they're beautiful people, always getting whatever guy they want, kind of what the film's about, with setting expectations too high. So she's just the perfect kind of character to go in with the story, and I'm glad Joseph Gordon-Levitt got Scarlett Johansson to be in this movie like he originally wanted her to be. So I'm glad he was able to get her in the movie, but because she did a really terrific job, and I really appreciated the performance she gave to this movie. Julianne Moore as John's mentor was very effective in here. There is something about her character I'm going to get to in just a second, but as far as her being the mentor of John, helping John figure out what real love is, kind of getting his life back on track with, setting the right expectations, but not setting them too high. So I liked that aspect of her character. For the negatives, you guys, I do think the scenes that are about John's routine, showing us kind of his everyday routine, with working out and cleaning his place and all that stuff, they do get a little repetitive after a while, and I almost feel like Joseph Gordon-Levitt felt like, us as the audience would forget about John's routine if he didn't show this routine enough times, and I really don't think that's the case. I think it's quite clear right when the movie begins, and even during the second time around, if that was necessary. I think we will understand John's routine just based off those one or two times. We don't need to see it 6 or 7 times like the film did. So I really wish that even if Joseph Gordon-Levitt wanted to show us that, this is a routine, this happens all the time in John's life, either he should have done some type of poetic shorthand, if I'm saying that right, kind of like we did with the Rocky montage scenes in those movies, or just shoot him differently. Because from what I saw here, they were very similar. They were shot similarly. The clothes are the same. They're very similar shots, and you almost kind of wonder if he copy and pasted all those from earlier in the movie. And I really wish he did something different because it just got really repetitive after a while, and just kind of got on my nerves actually too. Um, Julianne Moore's character, her direction with her character goes into a direction that I really wish they didn't do. Um, it was almost a little bit gross to tell you the truth. I liked her character. I liked the mentor side of her character. What they did to her near the end of the movie was just kind of uncomfortable, I guess you could say. Um, that's about as much as I can say without giving it away. We never see John at his day job, and the characters always talk about throughout the movie. Tony Danza talks about it. Scarlett Johansson says in one scene that she wants him to go to this night class so he can um, get a better position in the workforce. So it's always kind of brought up, and we never see John at work. We never see this big significant thing that all these characters are bringing up, and why he's at this night class. If it's a bartending job, don't you think the next position he would get would be a manager? Can he get that through the job? That's another thing too. Is like, why one night class? There's just so many things about the job part of this movie where it almost feels like John's unemployed throughout the movie simply because throughout the day he's doing all these things and throughout the nighttime he's doing all these things. So it's not quite clear where John fits in all these hours for work, and because these characters are always bringing it up. Um, it's just very hard to establish and think and visually place where the job fits in for John's life. So in the job part of John's life, I really wish Joseph Gordon-Levitt would have structured that and placed it differently in the script somehow, because just simply having these characters bring it up throughout the film just kind of annoys the audience, and it almost makes you thinking, okay, well, what are they talking about? We're not seeing it. So what's the deal with this job? Why is he at this night class? Why is the dad always bringing it up? Why is Barbara always bringing it up? Why Julianne Moore is always bringing it up? And it's just like we never see this thing that everybody's talking about, and it just kind of got on my nerves after a while. But Don John, you guys, I do give it a 9 out of 10. It is an excellent film. Like I said, Joseph Gordon-Levitt really is a very talented person. I really hope he writes and directs more movies on top of acting. Um, I'm perfectly cool with him acting, writing, and directing his next movie. I think he has the talent to do all three things. And Don John was just a very fun experience. Definitely the most fun addiction film I've seen in a while. I've seen a lot of addiction films gone wrong, and I think Don John's the first addiction film gone right. Maybe it's because it's not a drug addiction movie, so maybe that might be the case. But yeah, Don John, you guys, 9 out of 10 for me. Really like this movie. If you like Joseph Gordon-Levitt, if you like romance comedies, Don John might just be the right fit for you.